Hey, I've had enough here, so let's go already. I don't think I can handle any more of your family, so let's just leave and go find our own apartment or something. You and I both have decent jobs, so it's not like we have to worry about rent or anything like that now, right?
No, we're not going to be living here yet. I made a big promise to both my dad and that old bag. They had asked for us to come and live here, and I made sure that we'd uphold our end for a little while.
But Bill, they aren't even following the other half of that promise you've made with them. We haven't even done anything, and they've already been trying to stretch the limits. Weren't they at least supposed to help on the weekends with chores and cooking so that we could have some time off?
Well, the two of them are getting up there in age now. And they are used to having their weekends off as well still.
You can just say that the both of them are lazy, and that'll get the truth across. I wouldn't even mind that they're lazy and don't want to help, but they're always complaining about me. The food is too gross. The cleaning isn't done well enough. The bathtub is too cold for me. If they have the energy to be complaining about every little thing done here, then they have the energy to get off their butts and get some work done.
And I told you to have the water set to 104 degrees at least when you're filling up their tub with water. They could catch a cold going into a bath they expect to be hot, but is freezing cold.
It is not cold at all when I fill it. Just because they take a while to get into it and it's a bit more cooled off than they'd like doesn't mean they get to blame me.
I get that, but you're just gonna have to try and ignore what they say and just keep up the good work.
You're amazing, Bill. Before you ever got married to me, you had to help the two of them all by yourself, right?
Well, I'm their son after all. I had no other choice.
But you had to work a full-time job every day while also coming back to clean, do laundry, cook food. Having to take your dad out to see his friends, reading to your mom because she can't see well anymore.
Well, that's what most people would do for their aging parents, right?
I'm sure some people would. Even I plan to help my parents someday when they are too old to do things on their own. But having to do it while they are constantly slighting you, I can't be asked with that sort of work. It's like they can't even see that us still living with them and doing all this work is what's keeping them in a house.
But it's because of them that I've been recognized by the city and won some awards. If not for those, I wouldn't be obligated to be here with them.
You are better than your own dad now.
I know, but they were there to help me back then, so I can't say anything to them now for complaining about us.
But remember that he doesn't even care how you feel anymore. He may have been kind enough to help get you nominated and ultimately win, but he only did that for his own sake so that he could brag about you.
Ugh. Soon Belle will be coming back home as well, so I have to do my best. Can't let her see all of this when she's around, so just keep your ears shut and don't bother with what my parents have to complain about.
What? Are you kidding me?
No. She wants to come back here to be cared for before having her baby. Did I not tell you that before? That's why I can't stress this enough. If you and I leave this house now, it'll only get worse here than it's already been. And I don't want her coming back to a house that'll be in total disarray. That'll stress her out and might harm the baby as well.
That's the worst. At this point, this house will become a living hell with her around. Why are you still putting up with this family when they've barely done anything for you?
Well, because they're my family. I'm sorry for causing you to have to sit through all of this.
No, it's whatever. You have a will of your own, and so we can find some way to put up with them all.
Thank you for understanding that. Take the rest of the night off for me, okay?
Hey, April. Long time no see, right? This is Belle. I've come home to be cared for and have my baby around you all.
Oh, Belle. Hope your travels went okay. Been a long time now, hasn't it? Very rare to even see you anymore, considering you've been away for years now.
I had been thinking a few times that I wanted to stop by and see you all. And by the way, April, are you still not able to make babies?
Huh? Oh, no, that's, well, I guess.
I assumed so. Sorry about that one. Your little sister-in-law is going to be having kids before you can.
No, I'm not really worried by it or anything. Your brother and I aren't too keen on having kids anyway.
Huh? But if you don't have any kids, what will you do?
Well, what do you mean by that? I'm not really going to do anything different from what I do now. I'm going to continue enjoying my relationship with Bill as we grow older.
A marriage with someone that can't make any kids is boring though, right? I've seen all over the internet that couples that don't have kids end up getting a divorce in the end.
I think you're better off not believing everything you read on the internet, okay? Look, most couples aren't even married because of kids. Rather, for the couple to enjoy each other's company throughout their lives.
I know that, but even if you want to think of it like that, it must hurt knowing you can't make a baby.
Wait, saying something like that doesn't even have anything to do with you coming home. You're being rude.
Oh, come on. This has a lot to do with me coming home. Since you still cannot make any kids and don't plan to do anything about it, you're creating a problem for yourself, right?
I am.
Like, what I'm trying to say is that you're giving off a bad aura. And I wouldn't want that aura affecting me in any negative ways.
I told you we aren't having kids because we don't care for them. Bill and myself are both very busy with work, so we don't have time to care and raise kids. By the way, after not talking to me in so long, you're being a bit inconsiderate of me by saying things like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I'm being honest here. Really, I feel that being around you in my parents' home might not be the best thing, as you'll give off bad auras.
What are you trying to say about me with that?
Well, you have been married to Bill for 3 years now and still haven't had a baby. Could that mean you and him are having troubles in bed? Oh, I don't want to have to see the two of you fighting over bad sex.
Ever since you've gotten married, Belle, do you not feel as though your heart has turned black? Before marriage, you were already acting pretty disgustingly, but now you're just a jerk.
Huh? Do you have something you want to complain about regarding me?
I do! After such a long time not talking to one another, you're back and making all kinds of rude remarks about me. Has becoming pregnant made you that moody?
No, I just know that I'm better than you. Remember, that house you're living in is my family's house, right? We are being nice to you by allowing you to live there. So you are below me when it comes to who sits where in the family. Understand?
I'm being allowed to live here.
You were right. And thank goodness for that. Thank goodness you were able to marry my brother. But as his little sister, I don't think I agree with your marriage. I'm sure he doesn't anymore either, as you're just some hefty baggage that he has to haul around with him everywhere. Perhaps he likes being with you still, though. Or in that case, I'd have to say you both still living with my parents is gross.
You really love to say whatever comes to mind, don't you? Seriously, why does Bill have to have a family like this? You and your rotten parents really have done a great job trapping your brother here and making him do all the labor.
Don't tell me you're talking bad about my family now.
No. Well, actually, I'd say that I'm just telling the truth about you all. At this point, I've been spoken poorly of on numerous occasions, and my life in your parents' house has been nothing but bad lip about me.
Listen, April. I don't mind you trying to slight me, but when you start slighting my parents is where I draw the line. I've had it now. You and my brother are just in the way now, so you both get out of that house.
Oh? You're okay with us both leaving?
Of course I am, April. With you both out of the house, we won't have to suffer anymore. And having a couple in the house that haven't had kids yet only makes things worse for me when trying to have mine. I'm afraid of catching any germs from you. So, hurry up and get out of the house.
Really? Thank you so much, Belle.
Stop trying to act all tough about it. And of course we'll be cutting ties with you. So don't come around me ever again.
Oh, you want to cut ties as well to me. And not just you, right, but your mom and dad as well?
Of course. I'll never forgive you if you come in front of me or my parents after this. And as for Bill, I don't care about him. So make sure he's out of the house as well.
Really? This is the perfect scenario for me. Well, I'll be taking you up on your wish right now.
Hurry up and get lost! Hey, what has happened to this house?
This is no good, Belle. You and I don't know each other anymore. Did you forget about that?
No, hold on. You come back here, April. Right now, this whole house is being turned upside down.
Upside down, huh? What do you mean?
My mom and dad are both having me do all the chores here. And they aren't serving any kind of food for me. And so far, I haven't even been able to get around the house without stepping on garbage. Those two, I have never seen the two of them act so lazily before, and it's disgusting.
You overlooked that then, huh? Those two have been that way for years and years now.
Why? When I was still in the house with them, everything was going okay.
Even back then, things were not going okay there. It was just that Bill was around doing all the cooking and cleaning in the house for you all.
Huh?
At first, he was their only child, so they forced him to do all of the chores on his own. But when you came along, they never bothered you with having to help him. Well, they never let up on him, even after you left the house. And when I married him, I was pulled in and the two of us had to be their parents. And Bill never complained once about it because he was raised to think that because he's their son, he needs to care for them.
Is that so? I was never coming home to see any of this, so I never knew. Actually, now that I remember living here back then, Mom and Dad were only ever in the living room on these exact couches.
And that is why, because both Bill and I have been freed from that house by you, we are so thankful. I had always wanted to get out of that place, but Bill was so deep into it that he couldn't find the means to break out. But with how quickly you told the both of us to leave, he didn't have time to think about if what he was doing was right or wrong.
Hey, I really never knew that my parents' house turned into a pigsty. I'm asking you to come home now.
Hold on. We are both complete strangers to all of you now, right? So we don't need to come back and help anymore.
Hey, me telling you that I wanted to cut ties happened days ago, right? I didn't mean to say such selfish things, so come back here and help me.
Whether you mean to be selfish or not, I already know what your character is. Are you embarrassed now that you sent the both of us out of there? Well, I can understand you acting like that when I've had to live with the two babies that had raised you.
Huh? Are you talking crap about my family again?
What? Oh no, I shouldn't be doing that, huh?
There's no way you think it'd be okay to treat us like crap after what we've done for you, right? We gave you a house to stay in with my brother, so you having to do all the chores here was just a part of being his wife. Now come home.
You're acting like a lunatic right now. I'm perplexed. Just know that I don't care what happens over there now. Bye-bye.
Wait! Hey, Bill. Are you not embarrassed by throwing all your family away and running off?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how you left all your family here and ran away. What are you thinking? Did that witch threaten you to leave with her? What is she planning?
Huh? Wait, you're the one that told us to leave, right?
But I'm saying you actually getting up and leaving is screwed up. This is you stabbing all of us in the back right now.
Oh, sorry?
Sorry? What are you doing?
Hey, I didn't think me leaving was going to be similar to backstabbing you all or anything. I'm sorry, but we have a new place to live now that we're renting, so I can't come back to you guys. I was thinking about my wife during all of that, and that's why I chose to leave. So don't think that I was doing it to hurt you all.
So you're saying you're okay acting like this is all my fault? That is why you're the most useless brother anyone can ask for.
Sorry? But even if you hadn't cut ties with me, what else could I do? Before even talking about what I could do, though, are you going to be okay with that loan?
Huh? Loan?
Yeah, you have to pay $1,200 every month for it. April and myself have been paying it off for a while now, but will you be able to cover it now?
Huh? Are you saying that this house isn't owned by Mom and Dad?
They do own it, but recently Mom and Dad had the place expanded to allow April to move in. And so because of that, they have a loan that still needs to be paid off for a few more years.
You're lying, right? I never knew about that. Wait, what am I going to do about it?
Sorry. April's pretty pissed at you right now, so she's asking me to stop texting you now. I mean, we have cut all ties now, right? Sorry that you have to deal with all of that now, but you asked for it.
Huh? Oh, wait a second, Bill.
I'll try harder to be less of an embarrassment towards myself next time, okay? Now go on, and make sure that yourself and Mom and Dad have a great time in that house.
No, wait for me, Bill!
Learning about the struggles Bill had must be surprising, right? But I'm still shocked to see that he's still acting a little apologetic for doing nothing wrong. I was afraid that if I didn't put a stop to him, he'd go on forever talking to you guys and saying he's sorry.
Hey, wait. I'm not going to be able to pay for that loan or the house, April. I am carrying a baby right now. What should I do about all of this?
Well, if that's going to be a problem for you, then why not ask your husband to help?
I divorced my husband.
Oh! Are you serious? Why did that happen?
Shut up! Him and I are no more, so I have nowhere to go back to now. That's why my only option is to live back home with my parents. But not when it's this bad here.
Don't tell me that you cheated on him or something.
Huh? Why do you think that?
Your brother had your ex's contact information, so he had talked with him a while back. And your ex told him that you've been trying to run from having to pay him the settlement he's asked for. You really are a piece of crap, huh?
No, I do plan to pay him back. I just plan to come back to Mom and Dad's house first to save up some money. So please, come back here.
I'm sorry, but no. I'd be worried that by coming back to live there, you might catch germs or something from me. After that, Belle tried running away from her parents' house, but her parents came running after her to try and get her to come back to them. After all, they don't have anyone around to pay for the house anymore, and so without her, they won't be able to stay in it. But of course, it was too late for all of them, and they were all forced out of there. At that point, Belle was no longer able to run from her ex any longer. And when she gave birth to her baby, her ex came for it and took full custody before leaving her behind. I don't care at all about Belle and her parents, but I was a bit worried about the baby, so it's nice to see it being taken away. At this point in time, Belle and her parents are no longer in a home, and have left town to somewhere nobody knows. Bill tried to call him as he became a little worried about their condition. But they couldn't pay their phone bills, and so he wasn't able to reach them. However, only a month after they vanished, they appeared on the news after having been taken into custody. Seeing that they were all going to jail now for trying to shoplift as well as break into some stores, he was a bit worried and almost started to take action. The only reason they were appearing on the news for all of that was a week ago they had first started out by trying to rob a bank, but were able to get away before the police arrived. Quite surprising though, given the lack of fitness that the parents have after sitting around the house for such a long time. Anyway, before Bill could get up and move, I sat him down and told him that it's great to see that his family is all still doing very well together in jail. I'm sure it'll be a bit difficult for a while having to live without the rest of his family around him. But I'm sure he knows deep down that all of this is for the best, as those three were no good for any of us to be around.
Amber! I told that old hag of yours to stay away from my wedding coming up soon. So can you make sure to tell her as well for me? Tell her that she will not be allowed into the wedding on the day of, and that she needs to stay away from us so as not to cause any trouble.
What? When you say that old hag of mine, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about your mom being the old hag, and you should have known what I meant. Having her walk into my wedding all by herself with no partner walking beside her is just sad. So tell her to stay away. Simple as that. You are her daughter after all, so you should be fine with asking that of her for me.
Sandy? I'm sorry, but I have zero clue what you're talking about right now. Are you really telling me that you don't want my mom coming to my brother and your wedding?
I am telling you that. I shouldn't even have to be telling you this sort of stuff right now. You should already know that someone like her coming into my wedding would ruin the whole mood.
No, I don't know any good reason why her coming to your wedding would ruin the mood.
Why not? Being raised by a single mother is freaking embarrassing, right? And having her waltz into my wedding with nobody as her partner is so sad that I cannot allow it to happen when I'm about to show everyone my happiness. So tell her to stay away, please. Even your brother is embarrassed by her, so I'd like to keep her from coming in and ruining the whole wedding by making him and I beat red with anger and embarrassment. Just think about it with a level head, and you can see why I'm asking this from you.
Why are you saying things like that? I actually respect my mom a lot for having to raise her kids all on her own. And the way you're talking about her so cruelly right now is making me a bit upset, so please stop that. I feel bad for my mom right now hearing things like this about her from you.
What? Are you an idiot as well, then?
Excuse me?
You just have to put a little thought into it and you'd understand what I'm saying. If your mom comes to my wedding, she's going to ruin everybody's time. And if she begins to piss me off coming in as a single and depressing mother like that, then what do you think will happen to my wedding?
Well, stop trying to think that just by having my mom at your wedding, she'd ruin everyone's mood and end your wedding.
If she ends up coming in and giving the wedding a rotten atmosphere, your brother is going to be just as upset as I will be. Are you telling me that you want both me and your brother to be upset and embarrassed on our very special day?
Does this mean that my brother is 100% on board with having my mom stay away from the wedding?
Him and I are a married couple now. Anything I say about the two of us automatically makes him on board with it.
Well, if that's what you think, then fine. But I highly doubt that he'd be okay with what you're saying about our mom right now. Both he and I think highly of our mom and would never want to do anything to disrespect her.
You are the least helpful little sister. Well, whatever, I guess. We'll handle your mom on our own then.
And how are you going to handle my mom then?
Don't you dare go telling your brother anything about this, okay? And if you don't want our wedding to end up going up in flames, then you stay out of what happens next between us and your mom.
Well, now you're starting to get me worried about what you're planning on doing. I don't plan to say anything necessarily to my brother about this, but you're not going to do anything unwarranted to my mom, right?
We are getting very close to our long-awaited wedding and are both very nervous as well as excited for the day. So I ask you to please stay quiet about what I said. Allow your brother and I to have our moment in peace without getting in the way.
I still am a bit lost on what's all going on here with you, but I have no plans of getting in the way of your wedding. But can you make sure to talk all of this through with my brother as well before you ask to have my mom stay away from your wedding? Mom, have you gotten any messages from Sandy recently?
Well, she told me not to come to her wedding a little while ago.
So she actually did go ahead and tell you all of that straight then. I can't believe her. Well, you don't really have to worry about what she said to you, okay? I really do think that there's no way on earth that Kai would allow you to be told to stay away from his wedding with no good reasoning.
Well, I hope you're right.
Huh? Why do you say it like that?
Well, I'm just saying that what Sandy has said about Kai agreeing with her might be correct. I'm sure to him he has no real use for me anymore as his mother. And if anything, I'm just an embarrassment to him now.
Why are you saying all of that stuff about yourself and him? There's just no way that he'd think of you that way now.
Well, I heard all of this from Kai himself.
What? You heard this from Kai himself?
He told me that after what he's been told by Sandy, it's probably best that I really don't come to their wedding. And then after that, he ended our conversation by telling me to just not come. And ever since then, I haven't heard anything from him. No matter how many times I try to call and text him.
What the heck? What is wrong with Kai? Does he not see how rude he's being to you right now? I'll go and talk with him then.
Please stop trying to talk any sense into those two for me, okay?
Why should I stop trying, though? There has to be something going on between Kai and Sandy that we don't know about, because there is just no way he'd actually mean something as cruel as that. I bet you she's trying to brainwash him right now, and that his response to you wasn't his own.
And I'm sure that there's some reason for Kai telling me not to come, but we can't go around trying to force ourselves into those two's decision. I will at least go out and try to help them prepare tomorrow, but if they really do not want me coming to the wedding or having anything to do with it, then I'm going to stop. It's my job as his mom to let him decide who comes and who doesn't come to his wedding.
All right, then. How about the both of us go tomorrow, then, to help them prepare? I want the both of us to hear the real reasoning behind their decision for having you stay away.
Hey, why did you and your mom come here? I thought I made myself very clear when I said that I didn't want your mom coming to my wedding. What the hell are you thinking coming into this place with your mom?
Well, I'm having a hard time believing that you actually had the nerve to tell my mom to stay away from this wedding.
Well, even if you've come here today, it's not going to help your guys' situation any. Your brother and I didn't prepare a seat for your mom here.
Huh? You actually overlooked preparing a seat for my mom? For Kai's mom?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And why would I have? I told you that she wasn't allowed in here, yet she chose to come anyway with you.
Even if you're my brother's fiancé, this is going way too far. Allow us to talk to him right now about all of this.
Right now, Kai is busy talking with other people at the moment and doesn't have time to waste with the two of you. That's the whole reason I'm being considerate of him and am giving up my time to handle his family ordeal. As I had said to you and your mom before, there is no seating for her. I'm going to have your mom kicked out of this wedding right now.
You are the worst, Sandy, saying things like that about my mom.
I'm in the right to be saying all of this about her. Having to be raised in a single-parent household is one of the most embarrassing things to happen to someone. And I don't want him to feel that embarrassment today. All your mom is doing by being here is causing problems, and I want her to go home.
Then the whole family is going to go home.
Huh?
I've had enough of this from you. My mom is done dealing with you, and so the two of us are going to do as you say and leave this wedding right now.
Huh? Hold on a second, Amber. Did I ever say that I want you going home from this wedding as well?
You don't have to say anything like that to me, because saying something like that to my amazing mom is enough to make me want to go. So if you still want her to leave this place, then I'm going to join her and see her home. And right now, we are talking with other members of the family about this as well as friends. Even my brother is saying that he's ready to go now after what you've said to my mom.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about when you say your brother says he will go home? Do you have any other brothers besides Kai that I've never been told about?
I do not. I only have one brother, and that would be Kai. And Kai is the one saying that he'll come home with us. The way you've been acting around us and speaking for him has been way too much for him to accept.
Now, you wait just a second. What are you actually saying right now? What? Are you telling me that you told Kai about all of this? That has to be a load of crap, right? I specifically told you to not tell him anything about this and that I'd handle things between us.
Well, I was finally able to talk with him in person, face to face. And when we started to talk to one another, I made sure to show him all the things you've been saying to our mom and I about not wanting her here.
Huh? You're showing our conversations to other people without asking for my permission first. What the hell happened to there being something called privacy in this world?
And what happened to the privacy that my brother deserves to have from you?
Huh?
You ended up taking his phone from him on multiple occasions and typing all sorts of replies to my mom using his phone, making her think that she was talking to him when it was really you. And in the end, you were the one that blocked her on his phone, right?
I'm not really sure what you're talking about right now, but... Huh.
Come on now, Sandy. This is not the time to be laughing about that. You have very much shocked my brother with the way you've acted.
And so what? Why the hell did you tell all of this to Kai now? I swear, I told you very clearly to not get in the way of your brother and my happiness, and that includes this wedding today.
You think I was actually going to listen to you after what you said to me about not wanting my mom at her son's wedding?
Huh?
The way you've been acting around everyone has been completely screwed up, and my brother needed to know about what you were doing. And right now, he's in complete shock over what you'd done.
Huh? What are you trying to say I did that would surprise him so much? What did you actually say to my man that would make him start to doubt me? Why, Amber? Why would you do all this useless crap on the most important day of Kai's in my life?
This is all happening because of how you played your cards, Sandy. You kept thinking that you had the right to talk horribly about my mom and say that she was causing the two of you embarrassment. But it's because of my mom that you were able to meet such an amazing man as Kai. Because she worked her butt off for us, making sure we turned out as good people. What the hell does it matter to you that we have no father? You have no right to talk about my family like you have been, Sandy. Even if you have a problem with her being a single mother, my brother and I are both so thankful that we were raised by someone as warm-hearted and thoughtful as her.
Who gives a crap about all of that? Right now, things are going downhill for me. If I'm not able to have this wedding with Kai today, what am I going to do? Where the hell has he run off to right now?
Do you even have the ability to listen to what I say to you? I said just a second ago that not only my mom and I, but also Kai have all given up on you and are done here.
What do you mean given up on me and are done here, though?
I'm saying that we cannot forgive you for the way you've talked to us and the way you've acted around Kai. And it seems that he feels the same way and doesn't want to deal with you as his partner anymore.
Hold on. I just heard that Kai is telling everyone here that the wedding is canceled and to pack things up to head home. That has to be a sick joke or something, right?
No, you know very well that he is not the kind of person to joke about something like that. Especially when he was so happy to get married today. If he's going around telling everyone that right now, then it's truly happening.
But him and I really did plan on having our wedding today, Amber.
I know that. And everyone else expected you both to have a wedding today as well. But if all your family and friends, as well as the groom, leave the wedding, then there's no way you can carry on with it, right? Unless you're going to have a one-man wedding today.
Why the hell would you say something like that now? How would I ever be able to have a wedding by myself? Why is all this happening to me now? This is all your fault, you jerk!
Huh? This is all my fault now? Why would any of this be because of me, Sandy?
I told you to stay out of all of this and not to get in the way of anything regarding my wedding with Kai today. But since you went ahead and opened your mouth to your brother about what's going on, this all happened. I never actually thought you'd be stupid enough to tell Kai about what I'd said and done.
Huh? You still have no clue what's going on here then?
What do I have no clue about, Amber?
The only thing everyone thought could never happen is the way you acted towards me and my family. You literally took my brother's phone from him without asking and blocked my mom's number on there so that she couldn't try and talk to him anymore. Is that something normal people do to their in-laws?
Well, when you say it like that, you make it seem like I have done something wrong.
That's because you have done something wrong. Plenty of things, actually. I myself am having a very hard time understanding why, after all that's happened, you're still having a hard time understanding why you've been in the wrong. Tell me, why have you done all of this to my mom and want to kick her out of the wedding?
Well, that's because I just don't want her to be here today, and so I want her gone.
Well, that's not giving us a clear reason, though. I want to know why you don't want her here and want her to go home. If your reason for all that is because she's a single mother, then maybe you shouldn't be marrying my brother in the first place. What kind of balls do you have to think that using that as a reason would be a good idea?
Well, listen, if your mom is single and can't find another man to marry, then in the future, Kai and I will have to take care of her when she's old and useless. And since he's the oldest, you won't have to worry about your mom, and all the responsibilities surrounding her will fall on us, right? So I've been trying my hardest to have the two of us cut ties with her sooner rather than later. I just assumed that by forcing her to not come to this wedding, that'd be enough to end things between us.
So your reason for all of this is due to your overbearing selfishness? Well, if that's it, then I guess there's no helping you now. You can talk the rest of this through with my brother.
Wait a second, Amber. If you don't stick around and help me, then my wedding is going to fall apart and I'll lose Kai. You and I, we're supposed to become sisters, right? Let's you and I grow close to one another and fix all of this. After what's happened to me today, I'll even forget about what I thought regarding your mom and allow her to come watch her son and I get married. And then after that, we can all become one big family, right?
After all you've done to us, you expect something like that to work out for you? No matter how you try and spin things now, we are never going to be your family.
Please do not say things like that right now. You're the only person that can help me right now in getting your brother to come back to me. Right. How about you go ahead and tell him to come back to me, and then after that we can forget any of this ever happened.
How about this, Sandy? How about you just forget about there ever being a chance of you becoming my brother's wife? And then we can end all of this right now. I'm so glad you went crazy just before the wedding, so that we could all see your true colors before the knot was really tied. If you and him really did get married today, then my family's future would have been in real danger. I'm really relieved to see that I won't become your sister-in-law after all. You must really be in a corner right now thinking we can all forget about what you'd done. Especially after what you did to my mom.
You really don't have to say things like that right now, Amber.
I believe it was you that really didn't have to say all of the things you said to my family before, but you did anyway. So what happens to you next has nothing to do with me, okay? You can go right along and talk with my brother about that and see where you'll end up.
I'm not even able to get a response from your mom now. I wonder if I can get any of them to come back here. I'm sure if they just listened to my reasoning behind all of this, they'd understand me.
The only reason for all this was you trying to save yourself from having to care for my family in the future. Well, look at that. You won't have to worry about us anymore because none of us plan to talk with you anymore.
But your mom is supposed to be a really kind person, right? She would never say goodbye to me forever over a simple mess up like this, right?
Well, my mom's saying that she could never see you becoming a part of her family after what happened today.
She said that? That considerate mom would say something like that about me?
Well, weren't you the one that had planned on throwing her away the moment you married my brother? Oh well, I guess. Seems like you're going to be the one getting thrown away now after everyone came around to understand your true intentions. My sincere condolences, Sandy. Really sucks that you were never able to have your special day today. But you are like the devil, so there was no reason for you to have a special day in the first place. Good luck with the next man you plan on roping in. Hopefully he has both a mom and a dad that he was raised by, so you don't have to go through a day like today ever again. In the end, the wedding that had been planned for that day was canceled almost immediately. And of course, the legal marriage that Sandy and Kai had with one another ended up going up in flames. And because of the embarrassment they were forced to endure regarding this event, both of Sandy's parents ended up leaving her to fend for herself and would later cut ties with her. Sandy was then left to pay all the cancellation fees for the wedding, as well as a settlement for what she'd done to Kai's mom. But because she didn't have the money for all of that, she tried to get Amber's help again. However, this time, Amber wasn't going to have any more of Sandy and blocked her within seconds, so that she'd never have to hear or see a word from her again. It really seems fair that after all Sandy had done to Kai's mother and sister, she'd end up with no wedding, no husband, and no parents. She did say she went through all that in order to not have to deal with a single mother-in-law in the future, but nobody's even sure if that was the true reasoning or if this was all done due to Sandy just being a crazy woman.